I have an apology to make to you. You know how we're all harassing you about your mic? How it never stays by your mouth? You always sound like you're off in the distance.
Yeah.
It was that it was that headset. I used it the other day. I had to switch it out because it's something's not holding it anymore. It just flops down. So you literally can't keep it up by your mouth.
Oh, okay.
So you got chewed out for no reason.
I'm used to it.
Not really chewed out. Well, you know what's funny is when we're together, I'm doing podcasts lately, all we've been talking about is Connecticut because it's in our head. We know we're going together, and I feel like that's...
Yeah, I think the big thing is I've never been there before. I've always wanted to go to the East Coast and experience.
Yeah.
You know,
we're just excited.
Just the ambiance of it, I guess. You know, but you know how it is. You always have a preconceived notion about something that, like how the area is or whatever, because you see pictures.
Yep.
And then
videos.
when you get to it could be totally different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure either way it's gonna be cool because I would think the Eastern Seaboard or something, you know, for some reason. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Is it because you've never hunted it? Is that why you think that
I've never been there, right? I've never been there before. Like, you know, to the East Coast, really. Yeah. I've been to Florida.
Didn't you go to North Carolina or South?
I've been to North Carolina
because of
I've been on North Carolina.
But you've never really just been on the East Coast.
But on the coast itself or whatever. Or like, you know, I guess what you consider like the Eastern Seaboard or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, I love seafood, so
yeah,
just seeing that,
that's a big part of it.
Yeah. And to see, like, you know,
what's your favorite seafood?
It's old, right? It's like older America.
Mm-hmm. It is
versus California.
Oh, so much.
You know.
Well, when we went to New York, Travis, I never thought of myself as a history person. I mean, I do like history, like we talked about the Mongols, and we read those books in the Roman Empire. I haven't read those yet. I don't know if you did.
I started
them. You did?
I didn't get all the way through them.
Okay. So, like, I like reading about that. I like learning about that. But we, like you said, we have no, like, deep, long history here. So when we went to Manhattan, and I was seeing all those buildings from, like, the 1500s, the 1400s, 1500s, even maybe older than that, I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah, like lately I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube about like history and stuff like that, and stuff I never knew of. There was this one thing I was watching about, I think it was somewhere out of, the Washington was defeated in New York and the British were occupying New York, and I forget where there was some lady, basically what she did as a signal to ships coming in, there was different harbors that they'd go into, but she was I guess George Washington had some kind of spy network set up, and she was actually a spy in this network. And what she did is she had a clothesline outside, and she would hang her laundry on there a certain way, and the way she hung it, they knew which port to take the ship into.
Wow.
Yeah, so
they wouldn't get busted?
Yeah, so the ships would see it, you know, or they wouldn't get captured. And
was this on the East Coast?
Yeah, somewhere on the East Coast.
Wow.
And then there was another thing, I think it was Boston. The church was the tallest building in the city. And they had this tower that went up there, and there was a light up there. Well, ships would come into the harbor, and what they would do is, I guess, I don't remember exactly who they said was, basically there was people that was taxing whatever goods came into shore. So they would shine this light a certain way in a different part of because it was the tallest thing they could see it. The ships would see the light in the tower of the church, and they would know which port to go into. And then they had these tunnels that went from there. They would smuggle them all the way into the church, and there's houses there that have tunnels. Like they had a whole tunnel system underneath there, and they would smuggle the goods off the ship and come through those tunnels. And there's a guy, he had like actually a tunnel that's all bricked up. It's in his house in the basement. So it's just stuff you didn't really know about.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Underground Railroad, them hiding, you know, they're finding people by these houses. They don't even know this stuff's in there. And then they find this little secret thing, and behind their fireplace, there's this little room where they would hide people and move them to the next thing until they got, you know, out of danger, basically, into Canada.
Why were they trying to?
Escape slaves, right. Yeah.
And that's where they were going to, is Canada?
I think it was Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why they were so much easier on that.
Canada?
Yeah.
Like the slave trade?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know why. if that, maybe they couldn't
Is that like a
prosecute them.
cultural thing, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
I never really studied it. If Canada had slaves.
yeah, I've never like seen or read about it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand.
Yeah,
but yeah, just history's really, really interesting.
it is.
You know, and then like I was watching some other thing about the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
It was a gift from France. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not what some people actually think the Statue of Liberty is. Some people think it's a pagan god,
Mm-hmm.
and like different things on the Statue of Liberty stand for different things. And some people think it's like they call it a Lucifer.
Mm.
And like one guy was adamant that it was basically a symbol of Lucifer, you know, and expressed his rationale why it was. And then another guy's like, it is a Lucifer, but it's not the Lucifer that we think of as the devil. It was the Lucifer, and he was saying, which I never really, because there's two different theories about Lucifer and the fallen angel theory and all this stuff. So it was like, basically, he was saying, yeah, it's a Lucifer, but it's not Lucifer the devil. It's the Lucifer that was referring about, you know, you've fallen from heaven as lightning. And he was saying it's that Lucifer, which is not, and he's saying that's not the devil. So it's kind of interesting. And some people are like, no, it's just a symbol of freedom.
Yeah.
But it was kind of interesting to see different perspectives on the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Huh.
But
Was that, you said that was off YouTube, like a history?
Yeah,
type?
I think it may have been the History Channel or something. I don't know. There was, what was, no, it's, there's some guy who's wrote several books, like fictional books.
Mm-hmm.
It's three guys and there's a woman, and they like go in there and they, you know, try to basically get information about these different things. And it's stuff that people have already done before in the past, studied and looked at, but they're just kind of like retracing it and showing it, you know, in a dramatization form.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, you know, reality
It
TV.
could be bored, yeah.
Reality TV, it's a lot of it's makeup. It's not actually real.
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah. They dramatize stuff.
Yeah. It makes it a little bit more interesting, though.
It is kind of
I mean,
interesting,
you know
though.
it is.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, though, that you still learn stuff that you may not have known before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching something about that place up there in Northern California. You heard of that, the Bohemian Grove?
Mm-mm.
So it's somewhere up north. There's this huge fake owl statue out in the middle of the forest. It's like heavily secure, and people can't go in there. Like they went up to the gates and like, oh, you can't get in here. People met them out front.
Is it Indians or from Indians?
No, people from all, like, presidents have been there, like people from other nations, famous people.
In California.
It's in California, and and I guess I don't know how often it is, but they go there for so many weeks, and they basically burn an effigy of a child. There's people in robes and stuff.
What?
Yeah, they burn this thing, and they do this whole ceremony. And
What in the world?
there's a lake out front of it. These people are all up on stands, and some guy snuck in there and got it on video, actually. And then I watched some other video that some other guy, he snuck in there and was going through all these cabins and stuff. And all this pictures of people, like famous people and
Dude.
all this stuff. Yeah, I didn't even know about it. And people, like the local people, like, they're kind of hush-hush about it. I don't know if they're afraid it's going to hurt the economy there, you know, because these people come in.
Or someone hurt them.
But people, like, they say like, people run around with no clothes on. And before there was, like, there's no women. It's all men.
Hmm.
But I guess
That's trip.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of evil.
Oh, no, it looks very evil. And they say it's like the statue is supposed to be like Moloch, you know, that they used to sacrifice children to. Yeah.
Why?
They say
Why do they have that?
They say they worship this thing or something. But then they're saying, like, oh, it's supposed to be like, cast your cares away, like you're burning your care, you know.
Yeah, right.
But it's pretty trippy. Like, I'm watching these different things and you find out stuff like,
Hold on.
That's weird.
Sarah, is that generator running? No, leave it on. I got something charging. Leave it on. Sorry. This is a Camping Chronicles, by the way. If everyone's here with me yelling at Sarah, she was turning the generator off. I said, leave it on. I got battery charging, but
yeah,
sorry
if
about
I start
that.
talking weird, it sounds like I'm slurring my words. It's because I cracked a tooth somehow, and the edge is really sharp, and now it's creating a
You probably don't even want to talk. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's got like a raw spot on the side of my tongue, and I'm like, oh, great. So when I get home, I'm going to have to go in and get them to buzz it down a little bit. smooth it out. Hopefully not a crown, but probably will be.
Dude, there's nothing worse than dentist work.
Do
you want me to get a file and see if I can shave that
Are
thing
you
down?
kidding? I'd probably be screaming up here.
Oh, dude. Ugh. Okay, you were a dental hygienist for a long time, but do you still hate work on your teeth, or doesn't that bother you?
It doesn't bother me as much because I know what's coming. Like before, probably even while I was working, I hated dental work. As a kid, I had some really bad experiences, man. Like, I had one time I remember a filling that was being done, and they drilled, could feel it. I mean, and you know me, I have
low pain tolerance,
zero pain tolerance, and it felt like they hit that nerve, and it went down to my toes. I told them, "Hey, I'm not numb. Give me some more," and they kept drilling. It wasn't numb. Finally, the dentist, he goes, "Because I can't give you more anesthetic." He goes, "You're just gonna have to hold on." That was the worst holding on I've ever had to do.
How old were you?
14, 15 probably.
Were you just...
Oh, dude, I was in so much pain.
Flopping? Were you flopping all over that?
I was just gripping the chair. I bet you my fingerprints are still in that chair.
I can't, dude.
And then after that, I didn't want anything done. But I've had 3 crowns done. They were a little sensitive.
Once it goes down, it's
the problem is I had large amalgam fillings. Right, they're harder than your tooth. They hot and cold, contraction, expands, cracks. I clench my teeth when I sleep, and so it just creates cracks. And more time, they just start breaking down.
Man, you make me talk about this again. Sarah said I was grinding last night, and I said I still was working on that stupid
night guard,
yeah. And they keep saying, "Oh, it's not right. You got to do it different." I need to let you do it.
Yeah,
I'm just almost embarrassed. I know you've seen some nasty mouths, but I'm almost embarrassed to have you do it, just because how black it is. It's like black from losing.
You wouldn't believe the stuff I've seen.
I know, but tell us a little story. Tell us what's your worst.
So probably the craziest thing I seen. I had a patient come in, and it was just the preliminary check where you basically check the health of their gums. You measure the natural space between the gum and the tooth, make sure it's in a healthy range. And before I got started, the patient said, we moved here last year from Arkansas, and I've lost my toothbrush, and can I get a new toothbrush before I leave? I'm like, sure, we always give people toothbrushes. Didn't think nothing of it, really. And at the moment, I was just like, okay, I'll get her a toothbrush. Well, when she...
Oh, it was a girl.
It was a lady. And when she opened her mouth, I've never seen so much plaque in my whole life. It literally looked like you took cottage cheese, the whole thing, and she swished it and then spit it out. There was so much plaque on her teeth, and I don't think she had brushed her teeth since the year before. And I'm sure she could have went to 99-cent store and for 99 cents bought a toothbrush.
How did you not dry heave?
It kind of made me kind of dry heave a little bit. But you can't.
But how do you do it?
You got to be cordial, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How'd you hold that back?
Well, you say, I'll be back in just a moment. I gotta go grab something.
And you just went out,
and then you go out and just kind of recompose yourself.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah, that was probably the most.
How long did you work on her teeth?
I didn't. She needed basically scaling and replaning, which is where you numb them up. You go below the gum line, clean out all the tartar and plaque, and create a nice surface for it to heal.
What do you mean heal? So
basically, plaque is bacteria, right?
Yeah.
It's alive. It eats when we eat. Its waste product is acid and toxins. And so your body's defense system is inflammation, right? Extra blood comes to your gums to fight off that bacteria. They get puffy and swollen. Well, as they get puffy and swollen, that natural space between your gum and your tooth, which is always there, is deeper. Well, after about 2 to 3 millimeters in depth, you can't get floss down that deep to clean it out. So that plaque stays down in there, keeps releasing toxins, but then what it does, it combines with minerals from your saliva like calcium and phosphorus, and it solidifies. It'll stick to your tooth like a barnacle sticking to the side of a boat. Well, that's like a wedge, right? And your body's trying to get away from that, so that the gums are trying to get away from that, so they move apart, right? More stuff gets down there, and eventually goes in there and just basically eats the bone away from around your tooth. Tooth gets loose, wiggly, falls out. What's bad, that stuff can get in your bloodstream, clog up your arteries, leads to arteriosclerosis, heart disease.
Man.
So basically...
So it's kind of important to brush your teeth.
Brush and floss. You don't have to floss all your teeth. My old boss used to say, you don't have to floss all your teeth, just the ones you want to keep the rest of your life.
Seriously?
That's what he said, yeah. They say studies, actually, if you floss every day, they say it adds 2 to 3 years to your life.
What?
Yeah, by keeping the bacteria out of there. Yeah, your bite, it's a direct portal for bacteria to get into your bloodstream through your mouth.
Your mouth.
Yeah. So kind of interesting. But I had one patient, I think he was like 80-something years old. He came in, and he sat down, and I was talking to him. He goes, this is the first time I've had my teeth cleaned since I was 16 years old.
And he was how old?
In his 80s.
What?
Yeah. And so.
Well, I mean, I guess you didn't mean brushing his teeth. You just meant cleaned.
Just cleaned. Yeah, professionally cleaned, I guess you would say. But so he took X-rays, and his lower front 4 teeth, I mean, you can see where bone loss is on an X-ray. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he only had, I'm talking probably maybe an eighth of the bone left that was holding his front teeth in. But when you open his mouth, the amount of tartar, the calcification in there was thicker than his teeth. Like, you don't even see lines between your teeth. Mm-hmm. You couldn't see it on his at all. It was just a solid wall that was thicker than his teeth of tartar built up on there. And I told him, I go, I can get in there and clean this off. I go, but you may lose your front teeth. I think they're embedded in this wall of calcium. And he's like, he goes, if it happens, it happens. He goes, go for it. So I remember I numbed him up from his lower front tooth, his canine to canine right here. Mm-hmm. And I worked on those front teeth from canine to canine for 3 solid hours. Just trying to get that stuff off there.
Dude.
Worked and worked and worked. And
what are you, a pick? How you get, if it's calcium?
Cavitron. Like, basically, it's like an oscillating tool with water comes out there. Mm-hmm. And I use that, hand scaling. But the problem was when you try to use a Cavitron, you're trying to hold a suction in there, and, so they don't drown. And you're trying to use this little scaler thing that's shooting water out of it. But then, so you kind of you need like 4 hands, basically. Because the teeth were so loose, they would move, right? When you put something against it, they just flop. And so I was trying to hold them down and work and, scale this stuff off. And, I mean, I've never seen so much blood in my whole life.
Dude.
I mean, just blood everywhere. And
was it coming from his gums?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm talking a lot of blood. You could probably filled up like a red Dixie cup with the amount of blood that came out of his mouth.
Dude.
But
he's 80 now. What made him decide?
That's why I asked him. I go, what inspired you to come in, today? Like, why, you didn't come in this long. Why'd you come in now? And he's like, well, I just wanted to do it one more time before I died. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the best I can. And so I got in there, and like I said, I worked on those for 3 hours. And I ended up cleaning the rest of his mouth later on. But he came back like 3 months later, and he still had his front teeth, and they were more solid, and they were spotless. So I guess he just decided, hey, we'll start taking care of it. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. Then I worked in Vegas for like about how long was I there? 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Had one patient. They would come in every month, and all they wanted me to do is we had this thing. It was kind of like a monojet type of thing, where it was water and sodium bicarbonate. Uh-huh. And all she wanted me to do, she didn't want me to clean her teeth. She just wanted me to use this thing on her teeth. And so basically it was like a sandblaster above the gum line. Because she said she smokes like 4 or 5 packs of cigarettes a day, she said. And all I did was clean all the stain off of her teeth.
Oh, to make them white.
Yeah, it would take me a solid hour to just get all the stain off her teeth just from the amount of tar from smoking. And then she was like, do you think whitening would help my teeth? I'm like, well, it couldn't hurt. And this was right before I left. So she whitened her teeth, and the next month she come back, and she maybe had like a third of the stain on her teeth, which made my job easier, and she was happy.
So whitening is worth it then?
Yeah, they make your teeth sensitive, but...
Hey, do you ever do that?
I have. I haven't done it lately, whiten my teeth.
I don't know how we just talked for 18 minutes about that, but that was kind of intriguing. That was kind of intriguing.
In the past life, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to...
I did that for 20 years and
yeah,
just decided it was time to do something else, Mm-hmm. So...
It's very interesting, actually. And it's crazy how much comes from your teeth. Like you said, it's the portal. Like, you get messed up. And
you think about it, it's a portal to the rest of your body, right? Even what we put in and we eat, which I need to do.
Do you think that's how we're getting most of all of our sicknesses through our mouth or nose or ears? Or, like, where do we How do we?
I mean, how else does it get into your body?
Right. I mean, you could get stuff in from your ears, right?
Yeah, I
And
guess.
nose and eyes.
I guess anything that's a portal in, but that biggest portal into your body is your mouth.
But yeah, that's like instant bloodstream, huh?
Yeah, it's going to your digestive system and shooting out into your bloodstream. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of weird. Yeah.
Well, I guess we can go back to ducks. That was actually interesting.
Teeth to ducks. Let's see.
I know, but hey, maybe that will inspire somebody to brush and floss more. Every time I talk to you around you, I'm like, okay, I gotta floss more.
Yeah, they say 3 times a day.
What do you legitimately do that?
When I'm at home, not up here. Here it's twice.
You'll floss 3 times a day at home.
I'm a horrible flosser. I'll confess, I'm horrible at flossing.
Well, what do you do 3 times a day? You said.
I'll brush 3 times a day.
Okay. Every meal.
Yeah, but I'm not the greatest flosser. But what I do is I have a pick from when I was in
like a water pick.
No, a pick, like an actual dental pick.
Oh,
and I like do my own mouth.
Huh.
Which is not an excuse for being lazy.
Yeah.
But the best thing I found for me personally, if somebody's like an aspiring flosser, right, the easiest thing I found to do is I put my toothbrush, toothpaste, and if I put my floss in the shower,
yeah,
then it becomes part of a routine.
Yep.
I'll associate it with becoming clean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the only thing is Tamara's not too happy when I leave the floss hanging in the shower.
Yeah.
She's like, throw that in the toilet, you know. But she uses those little pick things.
Do you not think those are good?
No, anything's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
Do
you think regular floss is better?
I think you can get deeper underneath your gums because you can wrap it more like a C shape around there, around your tooth and slide down underneath your gums. Where those things, I don't know. Some people like them. Some people do a great job with them. It's just I remember like as a kid, I worked for at a grocery store, pushing carts, and I remember you'd always see cigarette butts on the ground. Now when I go uptown, I always see those little floss picks on the ground.
Yeah.
So I think it makes people more likely to do it
because it's easier.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Convenience.
That's funny you say that about the shower because that's what I do. I basically have
your toothbrush,
toothpaste, and floss in there.
Yeah, just spit it down the drain, right?
Yeah. So it makes it shouldn't make a difference, but it does make it easier.
Yeah,
more convenient.
It does. Yeah. That's fine.
So this year we'll go into this and we'll probably end this one, but this year, like, what's your plans this year as far as duck hunting? Just same old for you? I know we kind of always do these in the summer and talk about our plans for the season.
Yeah, the other refuge, that I hunted a little bit last year, I want to explore that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Spend some afternoons out there scouting. We had such a bad duck season last year, and
it's hard to get a.
I was kind of doing that last year, but it's hard to get a gauge of finding these little secret spots.
Yeah.
To focus on killing mallards basically. Yeah. Find those little spots that they just like to hide away, where they go in the afternoon. When it kind of calms down, it gets quiet. You get those. For me, I don't have to go out there and kill a limit, right?
Right.
But if I can walk away with 2 or 3 mallards, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So just finding that spot where they want to be in the afternoon
and getting a good decoy and
get them in close, right? Get them
in
close and work them, and not have everybody blasting all over the refuge and scaring them away. But finding those little spots like that. So I'm going to try to hit that refuge more and focus on that.
You kind of hit it a lot last year, more than you have in years,
but there wasn't. But
it just wasn't enough to.
We had one good hunt out there. We had several mallards out there, and I found a spot that I knew about before was good, and I got some plans for that. But it's mostly pintail and widgeon that are using it and teal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna get some kind of portable blind and set up on that. And I think if it works out like I think it will, it's epic. Because as I said before, I had that last year. I had that flock of probably 200 pintails come over. I mean,
what do you think is it? There's a lot of food in that pond.
There must be a ton of food in that
pond.
What
did you see? What did it look like?
There's not a stitch of tulies hardly on the whole pond. Like no tulies, even on the sides. And it's just like some kind of
like maybe a flooded grass field.
It's like a flooded grass field, and there must be a ton of bugs out there, and they're just out there feeding. But it's crazy because literally, you know how high they fly up in the sky.
Yeah.
They just come out of the air like dive bombers on that pond, and there's a lot of coots on it. So for some reason,
draws attention.
They just dive bomb that pond. But I probably focus on that a little bit. even if there's people on it, if I can get to the spot that I want and set up right on it, I think you can just have a
Really?
Because
So you don't think it's just that was a random thing that year? You think it's going to be?
there was people standing out in the open out there, and they were still getting buzzed by these birds. I don't know. I think it's if they flooded again, it could be pretty crazy. So yeah, that probably just focus on that, on that
for local.
Yeah, for local stuff.
Do you have a method you think for besides the blind?
For there, no, not really. I mean, if you had some motion on calm days,
How shallow is the water out there though?
maybe knee deep or less.
Oh, okay. So
It's not deep.
It's not like ankle deep or something.
It's like knee deep or less. On the sides,
So
it's
plenty
shallow.
for them to feed.
Yeah. On the sides, it's pretty shallow.
Hmm.
But for some, I don't know why they just want that pond for some reason.
Do you have any thoughts or anticipations about this season? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It's because, like I said before, I thought last year was going to be the most epic season ever, and it was probably my worst season ever. So I mean, it can't get. I say it can't get any worse.
we hope it don't.
Yeah, I don't. And I haven't seen a ton of I wouldn't say the places I typically see birds this year. I haven't seen as many. I would say local birds.
You mean right now in the off season with new hatch and all that?
Yeah, hatch. I haven't seen as many birds as I'm used to seeing. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Man, I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot. I feel like I've seen some late hatches too.
But see, what you're doing stuff you weren't doing before, right?
Yeah.
You're going around everywhere.
Yeah.
So you probably have a better idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just based upon what limited places I go because I work from home.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of an advantage of this job too. I will be able to be out and about more and see more stuff, I think.
Yeah.
You could almost use that as a tool, because
if you have to go there and you're looking, you're going to see it.
I'm so spread out. I can go from north to Southern California for work. It's all got to be done. So decide when you want to do it and do it.
I'm sure you're going to be driving by refuges and kind of seeing, where birds are at just because you're in the area.
Yeah, might as well. But so you're going to get back into the great state of the Northlands with us again. It's been a while since you've been up there.
Yeah, I was talking.
I still feel terrible. Go ahead.
I was talking to Jake about it, and it's like, okay. And I guess they found some spots that they really liked, and so it'd be interesting to see something new and just experience the whole thing.
Yeah.
Last time we went, probably seen more mallards than I ever seen, but they just didn't want to be where we were at.
Well, we did pretty good though, didn't we? Or when's the last time you were talking about?
We went with Brother Helton.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, duh. I forgot about. That was really weird, man. We were seeing a lot, but they were not wanting water. It seemed like they were wanting fields.
Yeah, they were wanting fields.
Oh, it might have been the time of year. It was January.
Yeah,
wasn't it, or was it December? No, it was December.
It rained a lot.
It was mid-December because it was before his birthday, and then that little party they had for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was right before that. And what's funny is that's the best year. California's been the most insane year we've ever had.
Yeah.
But yet, traveling was a little weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You guys had done really well there, a few weeks before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like a light switch.
Yeah.
But
and it's not that there weren't birds in the area. Cause
no, there was.
We've seen thousands of birds.
I learn so much every time I travel, man. I learn every time I go out. You think you're like, I got a dial now. I'm just going to be... But it's like, that's not reality.
Yeah.
I don't know why I ever think it is. I know it's not. But I still, when I'm prepping for it, I always think, yeah, I'll get this. But Travis, I was talking to Colton. I think it was Colton that we were on the podcast several episodes ago. When he went with us, remember the first time we went there, we didn't think oh, this ain't good. And we were driving all over the place.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember driving through there and the spots that we looked at, there was not a bird in the sky.
Nothing. Not a bird.
And it's like...
And we kept driving.
I came this far for this. This is going to be really
Titus, what'd you bring me on? Kind of thing. Well, then when we did... it's funny because... So, it's not that it ever got stupid good. It did. We did have a couple of really good days, but I think on that first night there was 5 of us: me, you, Colton, Tal, and Thomas. Okay.
Yeah.
I have that picture. I don't know if you have that picture still of us lined up on the shoreline there where we shot our birds when we were done.
Yeah.
I think there was only like 11 birds. Dude, we had the biggest grins on our faces. We were stoked.
Yeah.
That's way short of a 5-man limit. That's a limit and a half.
Yeah.
And me and Colton got to talking about that and talking about how fun that trip was.
That was a blast.
And-
Just 'cause something new, right?
Yeah. And we only shot 11 birds, but we
Yeah.
were stinking stoked out of our minds.
It was the experience.
It's that experience.
Yeah.
And I have got bad at, and I was really bad this last, well, I shouldn't say really bad. I know, I feel like sometimes I am harder on myself than because I look back at stuff, I'm like, I guess I wasn't as bad as I feel like I was, but I do feel like I can, you know me, I've got intense. I had a lot of things going on past, longer ago with financial and jobs and this and that was really, and just stuff was stressing me out, right? And I feel like I was ruining it for everyone else around me. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I want to have fun. The job I have now, I feel like it's going to be so much better for me and just more relaxed and be able to just have fun and not think about what I got to do when I get home. And this has got to be successful or I'm going to, not have money.
You can smell the roses, basically. Right?
Yeah,
You can take
and that's what you want to do.
Yeah, you can
when
take
you hunt.
in the whatever town you're in, right? Whatever the restaurants, right? Or whatever, being with each other and something goofy happen or,
Yeah.
and it's
The hardest I've ever laughed was when Thomas was popping your back on that trip. Dude. And I snapped that picture. That picture will never be seen because this is my brother, my best friend. So I can't be making them look bad. But I don't think I've ever seen any of us laugh that hard as we laughed. All 4 of us were on the ground, rolling for at least 10 minutes, not breathing, laughing so hard. And that's what I remember the most of those trips.
Yeah.
Those laughs, the food we ate, hanging out the dill, the hotel.
I can only tell you like 1 or 2 ducks that we shot. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But,
I mean, the only reason we can is because we have video of it.
yeah.
If we didn't have that video,
I would have already probably forgotten about it.
we would have forgot those. Oh, I forgot about that or that duck that. Yeah, and so you said it perfectly. Like, I want to be able to smell the roses,
Yeah.
And I do want to. I don't. So, for instance, and I feel bad because it feels like the last 2 or 3 years it's been like that with duck hunting. Like, I can't smell the roses, with duck hunting. I had so many things going on, I need pictures for this, and you got the sponsors and this and that on the trips, and not to mention the home life and the job and switching jobs. Well, that trip me and Harrison and John went on, I was a little stressed out on that one too.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to get away and duck hunt to get my mind off it, but then I was thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
And I had to do another drug test on the way home. Thankfully, John and Harrison were cool with it. Like, whatever. They gave me a hard time, but they didn't care.
Yeah.
Because it's a new job. And, you didn't, we lost your results. You got to come in. Just the mind game, stupid stuff you're doing. And I'm just wanting to get that started. So that one, my mind was a little absent too.
Yeah,
honestly.
but now you got the job that you were working towards, right? And
almost a dream job, honestly.
Yeah, it
feels like it is.
It's amazing how much stress and, I guess that's the probably thing, right? Stress about, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. How it affects everything in life, really,
Yeah.
And life is so short, right? And the things you get to do are limited, right?
Mm-hmm.
To a certain extent. And it's hard when the things you're doing something you like, you're passionate about, but you can't enjoy it, right? Because it's stress, So anything you can do to, thankfully, that you have what you have now, and so to a certain extent, some of that's alleviated, so you can invest more into what you really
be
want
present.
to do. Yeah. Not you're there in body, but your mind's somewhere else.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I know you've been there.
Yeah,
we've all been there.
Probably everybody's been there. Yeah. So, and then just to appreciate the moment. You know what I'm saying? To take it all in.
Yeah.
And when you're stressed, you don't do that.
That's why Travis, for that trip to Connecticut, I'm concerned. Maybe I sound like a broken record, but I don't want to be absent for that trip.
Yeah.
Because I thought, okay, I want to do this video. But then again, I'm like, if I overboard on the video, I'm not going to be in the present,
Yeah.
you know? And you're going, Thomas is going, like people that I love to hunt with. So it's like, I want to be present with you. I want to be in there with you guys, right?
Yeah.
I don't be on the outside looking through a camera. It's like, I've been trying to figure out how I can do that. And it's like,
To balance it, right?
To balance it. Because, dude, here's the deal. I do want the memory of that.
Oh, definitely.
I don't want to like for shine the camera and I've done that at times. In fact, that last hunt we had in Washington that one year, me, you, Talon, Thomas. What is that noise? It's like a bear screaming up there. It's the second time I've heard that.
I can't hear.
Our mountain lion.
The
kid screaming probably, but yeah, I just want to. That was awesome, and I do wish part of me wishes we had a video of that hunt. The other part of me is like, okay, oh well, we remember.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to I don't remember what ducks I shot and how they came in. I just remember like just certain things of that day.
Exactly.
But it was a weird trippy day, but that was great. That was awesome. I don't remember where I was going with that because we were talking about just being in the present. But anyways, I really hope and pray that this year's, for me, we're kind of talking about the season coming up because it's getting that time of year. Usually mid-July, everybody starting to drift a little bit. I know you've got archery, deer, and stuff coming up. I know your blind's probably a little bit more than that. Have you guys shot yet?
Yeah, I've shot up here once. I'm going to shoot again today probably.
So I know you've got that kind of going. I just go straight to duck because I'm like, okay, it's getting close. And you start thinking of like what gear you want to buy, what, if any.
Yeah.
I always think, I don't need nothing this year, and then I end up getting some. But I will tell you what I am going to buy this year. I'm going to get, now mind you, so we got that boat coming in August. Our boat's supposed to be ready to go in August next month. It's kind of bounced from like July, August, September. Now it's saying August. That's a 50 horse. You hear that? It's just people up there screaming or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they're screaming about.
The 50 horse Pro Drive, brand new, something new in the market, right? With the Tohatsu. So that's gonna be fun and learning that and taking it out, and we'll probably run it down the lake or river, do something. I'm sure we'll take a bunch of different people. Because the cool thing about that is because of that power, you can take more being an outboard. Like it runs better with a load. Like it doesn't affect it like it does with the surface. It's still a surface drive, right? But I mean the motor and the power.
Yeah.
But anyways, that and then what I want to get for the boat, and I guess this is just how duck hunters are. We always think we need more decoys, but what I was gonna do, I kind of gave a lot of my decoys, the mallards to Clint.
Oh yeah,
Helton, because he's getting into duck hunting, and he was like, "Man, I'll take him." But I'm gonna, I like to get those. You know how I like those.
Life, whatever.
No,
not those. The avians.
No, the
Dakotas.
The Dakota decoy packables.
Oh, okay.
Not the I'm out. I am no longer. You can hear me and write this down. Anybody listening? I am no longer a flocked guy. Like I'm not flocked. I do not like it anymore. I'm not saying I won't use them. Pat was talking to me about using like these 6 flock decoys, and they do look good, but they once that flocking comes off,
it fades.
Fades bad,
yeah.
And it looks so bad. It does not look good once it does that, and it's like I know you can repair that, scrape it off, paint it. It's like I'm gonna get regular, so not flocked. I want to get like at least 4 dozen the boat mallards, like. So they're super light. Our boat's already going to be way faster, but we're also going to go lighter because, man, we were doing the math. If you put 4 dozen final approach decoys, which I do like their mallards, and they hold up really well, and I'll still use them in the refuges and stuff or whatever, but like as far as the boat, the lighter you can make it, the better, because if each decoy is like a pound or so.
We'll use them pretty.
And then I'm using 5 ounce. So do 5 ounces times 6, or 5 times 12, 60. So 60 ounces, whatever that is. I guess that's not a ton of weight.
60 ounces in a pound, right?
Yeah, so 32, 48, 4.5 pounds. Plus your decoys, you probably got 50 pounds. I mean, you're sitting 60 pounds. That's not bad, but still, it's amazing. A little bit of weight goes a long ways on a boat. It shows. So just eliminate that, and not only that, they move really good in the water because they're so light, right? So that's probably the one purchase I'm gonna make. Is there anything you think you need this year?
Probably lots of stuff. Like always, motion, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but do I want to drop that amount of money for the motion? Like I like that.
Do you like those?
I like that mallard that you have. With
the Duck Creek decoys.
Yeah, those are cool. I like those. Then that thing that Jake was talking about, I was like, oh, maybe that's
Have you seen it?
I haven't even seen it. I'm gonna watch it on YouTube when I get home.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Just to see how it looks.
Well, I feel like you're saying more is less, or less is more, right?
Well, something.
Did you used to think?
I used to take a ton of decoys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, as many decoys as I could possibly carry on my back, I took. But I wasn't focused on shooting mallards as much. Shoot pintails, widgeon, more open water. But when I started hunting mallards, that's when I started like scaling back on the amount of decoys I would take. There's no need to have a big spread, and just a little bit of motion. So, I mean, if something like I could take in just, 4 decoys and get in a little tight hole or whatever and not have to push a cart out there with a sled.
Yeah.
I like a sled just because I can throw stuff in there.
It's convenient, but getting it out there.
But getting it out there, right? And then especially if it rains and you have to push that thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I had something light and I can just put on my back and carry it out there.
I know there's a give and take for that because a sled is awesome, but then you got to use a cart to push it out there. And like you said, depending on how the ground is. But then on the other side of it, doing a pack, you shoot a limit of birds or a few birds. Everything's on your back. Then when you get in the water, it's heavier, and you're sinking farther every step because of the heaviness. And then you walk out with more birds, and then you're picking stuff up, and it's getting wet. So it's like, I personally rather pack most of the time.
Yeah.
But then again, I know there's negatives to it.
Yeah, definitely.
So you might get some motion this year. That's kind of the only thing you're looking at.
Yeah.
Besides.
And if anybody's out there that can design a duck seat
that will last,
that to me that's the one niche in the market
that has not been
perfected. And if somebody ever perfected it, they'd make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
I hate those.
Why is that?
Well, they got wood, right? You got wood in
water.
You got wood and water. That doesn't mix because they rot out, right? Good for the company if you have to buy another one.
Yeah.
But they don't last, right?
Yeah.
Or you got bulk, right? You got something that's too big and too bulky. Maybe a nice cushion. Maybe it's metal. So there's got to be something that's like real light, super light, comfortable seat that lasts.
Yeah.
But you don't make money if stuff lasts a long time.
No.
So,
as we well know with all of our appliances and everything else we have now, basically got to get a new washer and dryer every 4 years. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's... To me, it's like nobody's really put the effort in and designed it to last,
Yeah.
Like with the stuff, the clothing we use, right? It's designed to last a long time. It's made well,
Yeah.
But seat's been like my one thing that I've not found a good seat yet.
Yeah.
It's not bulky. It's light and it's comfortable to sit on.
The idea's right, but it's still not perfected.
I love to have something that you can swivel, right?
Yeah.
Swivel on the seat. But when you set it in there, it's not rocking back and forth. More stable, I guess you would say.
Yeah. And then it's not sucking up the whole room in your cart, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't fall apart.
Man, someone's got to come up with something sooner or later.
Even if you had something where the seat part, right, it wasn't on one piece. Like you could put it in some kind of thing and then hook the seat to it, right? Or something.
Why don't you create it, Travis?
Man. I'm not an engineer.
Oh, you can't. I bet you can be.
I'm not an engineer. Make it something light.
So motion, I'm saying decoys, anything else?
No.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Just I need to start exercising so I can walk across the pond and not be out of breath. That'd be beneficial.
We've been getting a little exercise up here.
Yeah, I can tell I'm getting more acclimated to the
Yeah.
elevation.
Because we're about 7 right here, right?
Yeah, probably
7,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then we're going to go and eat a boil tonight and probably
Low
make
country
ourselves
boil?
sick.
Yeah.
Some shrimp and potatoes and corn on the cob. And
yeah, and then what we had the other night, Mexican food. That was pretty good.
That was really good. All right, well, thanks for coming on this one, and thanks for everybody for listening. And I keep forgetting to mention the molar choke still. Just remember, if you guys want, in my opinion right now, the best choke on the market for sure is the molar chokes. And I advise you to go check on Surviving Duck Season's YouTube channel where he does all that. It's proof is in the pudding, so I'd go check it out. And if you want 10% off, I believe we're the only ones that offer that discount. Go in and put in MVM all caps 2024, and you'll get 10% off. And promise you won't regret it. I put the link down in the description on the YouTube and on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you could just click it. It takes you right there, and then see what you like. I strongly suggest the decoy choke. If they're 35 yards or less, and then if you want reach out there a little farther, or you're shooting sea ducks and you can't get them in quite that tight, or you just like a tighter choke, you can go with the passing choke. So they do have a UFO too, but Jimmy pretty much only suggests that for like turkeys, or like that's pretty much it. So it's pretty tight. And by now, if you want to watch the pattern videos for those chokes, I got a few of them on the YouTube channel, Mid Valley Mercenaries, and I got more coming. I was going to do some pattern videos up here, but it's like, I want to chill out, and talking, but making a video, and it's like, I don't feel like doing that much work. So anyways, check those out, and we'll see you guys in the next one.